Welcome back to Stoic Reflections, where we explore timeless philosophies to enrich our daily lives. Have you ever wondered how to make someone always think of you, whether you're near or far? Can your absence become something that makes them long for your presence even more? As Seneca once said, "Absence sharpens love, presence strengthens it." This raises an intriguing question. How can you turn your absence into something irresistible? Imagine being Cleopatra, a historical icon of unforgettable allure. Despite not appearing frequently in public, she left a lasting impression on everyone's minds. What was her secret? Today we'll uncover 10 Stoic secrets to make them miss you every day, 10 Stoic principles to help you become irreplaceable in someone's heart. Are you ready? Leave a comment below with the phrase "thinking of you tomorrow" to commit to applying these principles to your life. Let's dive in right now. Principle 1. Self-mastery. You might be wondering, how does self-mastery make someone remember you more? It has everything to do with showing that you are a complete and independent individual, which is incredibly attractive and intriguing in any relationship. Picture this: when you are self-reliant, you don't cling or desperately seek attention from your partner or someone important to you. Instead, you're living your best life, engaging in your own hobbies and meeting your personal needs. This flexibility can spark curiosity and admiration from them. They begin to see you not just as a companion, but as an individual thriving in your own unique way. When you're not always available or dependent on them for happiness, you create a healthy space within the relationship. This space isn't about distance, it's about allowing both of you to grow individually. What happens in their mind when you're not around? They start wondering what you're up to, recalling how you handle situations with self-control and confident composure. And you know what? They begin to miss the vibrant and independent side of you. So, embrace and nurture your self-mastery. It's not about pushing them away, but about drawing them closer with deep admiration and respect for who you are. As the famous saying goes, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. But in relationships, perhaps the best way to truly connect is by first finding and valuing yourself. Think about it. When was the last time you felt drawn to someone who seemed overly needy or constantly sought validation? Probably never. People are naturally attracted to those who exude confidence and independence. For instance, imagine someone who spends their weekends painting landscapes or mastering a musical instrument, activities they genuinely enjoy, rather than relying on someone else to fill their time. Doesn't that make you curious about their world? So, the next time you feel the urge to text or call them just to fill a void, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, am I doing this out of genuine desire to connect, or because I'm afraid of being alone? By nurturing your independence, you'll notice something fascinating. They'll keep thinking about you, not just tomorrow, but for many days to come. After all, absence makes the heart grow fonder, but only when that absence is filled with purpose and self-assurances. Remember, when you cultivate your independence, you give them a reason to admire you even when you're not physically present. It's not just about being remembered, it's about being cherished for the person you authentically are. Principle 2. Mastering your emotions. You might think, control my emotions. I just want them to remember me. Here's a secret. Mastering your emotions is like holding the reins of a powerful horse. It directs the energy in your relationships exactly where you want it to go. Picture this scenario. Every time you interact, you remain calm and composed, even when the conversation becomes tense or unexpected surprises arise. This level of emotional control doesn't merely leave an impression, it sparks curiosity. Why? As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realizing this truth grants you immense strength. When you demonstrate this strength, it leaves a lasting impact. By managing your reactions, you create an aura of mystery and depth. The other person begins to wonder what's going on inside your head. They're used to predictable reactions dictating behavior, but now you exude tranquility and poise. This newfound serenity intrigues them about your inner world, drawing them closer and keeping them curious. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean becoming an emotional machine. It's about responding rather than reacting. This subtle shift means that when you do express your feelings, they are thoughtful, sincere, and profoundly impactful. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone who rarely loses their temper during conflicts. Instead, they listen intently, respond with grace, and choose their words carefully. People around them can't help but admire their composure. It makes others ask themselves, how does she stay so calm? Or what is he really thinking? That sense of intrigue builds fascination over time. And here's another thought-provoking quote by Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. When you master your emotions, you take charge of how others perceive and connect with you emotionally. And do you know what happens next? They'll remember the warmth from your deliberate expressions of emotion long after you're gone. So, stay calm, thoughtful, and observe how they start wondering and seeking ways to come back to you. Keep your emotional cards close to your chest. Leave something for them to ponder. A soft hint, whispered gently, will you think of me tomorrow? After all, a touch of mystery always works wonders in the game of love. In fact, consider this analogy. Emotions are like colors on an artist's palette. If used carelessly, they can create chaos and confusion. But if applied with intention, they paint a masterpiece that captivates everyone who sees it. In relationships, your ability to regulate emotions allows you to craft moments that linger in someone's memory. Whether it's a quiet smile at the right moment or a heartfelt confession delivered with perfect timing, these actions resonate deeply because they stem from self-awareness and control. So, embrace this principle not as a restriction but as a tool for empowerment. Let your emotions serve you, not rule you. Because when you lead with calm confidence, you invite admiration, curiosity, and ultimately, connection. Principle 3. Intentional communication. Have you ever wondered how just a few words can make someone crave your presence even more? Intentional communication is your secret weapon. Communicating with intention means carefully choosing your words, ensuring they are thoughtful and add value to the conversation. It's about speaking with purpose and depth, which can profoundly influence how you are perceived and remembered. As Seneca wisely said, speak so that you may speak again. The essence here is to leave them wanting more of your understanding, your wit, and the unique way you articulate your thoughts. Imagine this: every time you speak, you do so with the intention of connecting, understanding, and enriching the interaction between the two of you. You're not merely filling the silence with words, you're crafting meaningful and impactful messages. This not only makes conversations memorable but also adds real value. When you're not around, your words linger in their mind, your voice echoes in their thoughts, drawing them closer to you, even in your absence. By using intentional communication, you create layers of meaning and curiosity. The other person begins to reflect on what you've said, pondering each word. Yes, they yearn for the depth and allure of your conversations. They start appreciating not only what you say but also how you say it. So, harness the power of intentional communication, making your words valuable and significant, and watch as they work their magic to keep you firmly in their thoughts. Remember, it's not just what you say, but how you say it that leaves a lasting impression. Keep your communication intentional, thoughtful, and always laced with a touch of subtle charm. Let me illustrate this further. Think of a conversation where someone listens intently, responds with precision, and peppers their dialogue with intriguing insights or gentle humor. Such interactions don't just pass unnoticed, they stick. People walk away thinking, what did she mean by that? Or how does he always know the right thing to say? These moments of intrigue build bridges to deeper emotional connections. Consider another powerful quote by George Bernard Shaw: "The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place." By being deliberate in your exchanges, you avoid this pitfall entirely, ensuring your message resonates clearly and deeply. Moreover, intentional communication isn't limited to grand gestures or profound statements. Sometimes it's the smallest details, a well-timed compliment, a question that shows genuine interest, or a pause that allows reflection that leave the most indelible marks. For instance, instead of saying, "You look nice today," try, "I noticed how your eyes lit up when you smiled earlier. It was captivating." See the difference? One is polite, while the other is personal and unforgettable. Ultimately, mastering intentional communication transforms you into someone whose presence is felt long after you've left the room. Your words become threads woven into the fabric of their thoughts, pulling them back toward you. They'll find themselves replaying your conversations, analyzing your tone, and craving the next opportunity to engage with you. So, speak with purpose, listen with intent, and let your words be the invisible force that keeps you alive in their mind. After all, the art of communication lies not in overwhelming, but in enchanting and leaving just enough unsaid to keep them coming back for more. Principle 4. Embracing absence. Here's an intriguing idea for you. How can accepting moments of separation actually bring you and your loved one closer together? It may sound paradoxical, but this is the key. Embracing absence can heighten their longing for you and deepen the connection when you're reunited. Consider this: absence doesn't just make the heart grow fonder, it also creates anticipation and appreciation. By accepting, and even cherishing, the moments when you're apart, you demonstrate emotional strength and show that true connection isn't about constant proximity, but about the quality of the emotional bond. As Epicurus wisely said, freedom is the only worthwhile goal in life. Free yourself from clinginess and watch how this liberation transforms your relationship. Imagine applying this principle in practice. Instead of bombarding each other with endless messages while apart, give both of you some breathing room. Let the silence between you spark curiosity and a touch of mystery. When you do this, you cease to be a predictable part of their day. You become the highlight, the moment they eagerly anticipate. This principle teaches you to embrace the rhythm of being together and being apart. It encourages you to find joy within yourself, which makes you more attractive and fascinating in their eyes. For example, think of a couple who spends every waking moment together versus one that allows space for individual growth. The latter often finds themselves yearning for each other during their time apart, and when they reunite, the connection feels electric. Why? Because absence amplifies desire. As Rumi once poetically expressed, goodbyes are only for those who love with their eyes. Because for those who love with heart and soul, there is no such thing as separation. By embracing absence, you create a sacred space where emotions can simmer and intensify. When you come back together after a period of separation, the connection feels fresher, stronger, and more vibrant. So, cherish the moments of absence and let them build a deeper yearning. Remember, absence isn't an emptiness, it's a space for growth and anticipation. Allow them to feel your absence just enough so they begin to think about you. When you meet again, the joy and appreciation for each other will shine through, making every shared moment even more precious. Moreover, absence gives both parties the chance to reflect on what truly matters. During these times, people often realize how much they value certain qualities in their partner or how much they miss specific interactions. This reflection deepens emotional intimacy. For instance, someone might recall a small gesture like the way you laughed at their joke or held their hand, and suddenly, that memory becomes vivid and cherished. Absence turns ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. Ultimately, mastering the art of embracing absence is about trusting the strength of your bond. It's about knowing that love doesn't diminish with distance, it grows. By giving each other space, you allow the relationship to breathe and evolve naturally. So, the next time you're apart, don't fear the silence. Instead, lean into it. Let it work its magic. And when you return, watch as the reunion ignites a flame that burns brighter than ever before. After all, sometimes the sweetest connections are forged not in constant togetherness, but in the thoughtful balance of presence and absence. Principle 5. The power of mindful interaction. How can being fully present in your interactions make them remember you more when you're not there? It lies in transforming every moment into something so meaningful that your absence is deeply felt. Mindfulness means fully engaging in each moment you share, listening attentively, and responding thoughtfully. It's not just about physical presence but giving your complete attention to the here and now. This approach turns ordinary interactions into memorable and deeply significant experiences. Marcus Aurelius once advised, perform every action in your life as if it were your last. Applying this wisdom to your interactions means treating every conversation and every shared moment as if it could be the most important one. Imagine this: each time you're together, you bring an intensity of presence that makes every laugh resonate deeper and every glance carry more meaning. You're not just spending time together, you're making that time extraordinary. This depth of connection leaves a lasting impression, one that continues to echo in their mind long after you've gone. By practicing mindfulness in your interactions, you create an emotional richness that makes your presence incredibly fulfilling and your absence profoundly noticeable. When you're not there, they begin to miss the quality of care and thoughtfulness you brought into their life. They remember the feeling of being truly seen and heard in a way only you could offer. So, immerse yourself completely in every moment you share. Make mindfulness your secret ingredient in the recipe for being unforgettable. Remember, when you are fully present, you leave an imprint of your spirit within them, ensuring that you remain in their thoughts tomorrow. This isn't just about becoming unforgettable, it's about making every interaction count twice as much. Let me give you an example. Picture two people sitting at a cafe. One scrolls through their phone distractedly while the other leans in, maintaining eye contact, nodding at the right moments, and asking thoughtful follow-up questions. Who do you think will leave a stronger impression? The person who was fully engaged will be remembered not just for what they said, but for how they made the other feel valued, respected, and understood. As Thich Nhat Hanh beautifully expressed, the most precious gift we can offer others is our presence. By giving someone your undivided attention, you offer them something rare and invaluable. Moreover, mindfulness doesn't just benefit the other person, it enriches your experience too. When you focus entirely on the present moment, you become more attuned to subtle cues, the tone of their voice, the flicker of emotion in their eyes, or the unspoken words behind their sentences. These details allow you to respond with greater empathy and insight, deepening the bond between you. For instance, noticing when someone hesitates before speaking might prompt you to gently ask, "Is there something else on your mind?" Such mindful gestures show that you're not just hearing them but truly listening, a skill that few possess and even fewer master. Ultimately, mindful interaction is about creating moments that transcend the ordinary. Whether it's savoring the quiet comfort of sitting side by side without needing to fill the silence or sharing a heartfelt story that reveals a part of your soul, these instances stay etched in memory. And when you're apart, those memories act as anchors, pulling their thoughts back to you. They'll recall the warmth of your focus, the sincerity of your responses, and the way you made even the simplest moments feel special. So, embrace mindfulness, your guiding principle. Be fully present not just with your body but with your heart and mind. Let each interaction be a masterpiece of connection, leaving behind a legacy of thoughtfulness that lingers long after you've parted ways. After all, the art of being remembered isn't about grand gestures, it's about crafting small, meaningful moments that ripple outward, touching hearts and staying alive in memories. Principle 6. Consistency in communication. How can maintaining a steady and thoughtful pattern of communication make someone remember you more? It's about creating an expectation of quality and reliability in your interactions, making your absence felt more acutely when you're no longer in touch. Consistency in communication doesn't mean bombarding them with messages all day, every day. Instead, it's about establishing a rhythm of meaningful and dependable exchanges. Whether it's a morning greeting, a midday check-in, or an end-of-day recap, these 2 points create a cadence that becomes an integral part of their day. As Seneca wisely noted, consistency is the hallmark of wisdom in communication. This consistency gives them the sense that you are thoughtful, reliable, and genuinely invested in the relationship. Imagine this: even when life gets hectic, you maintain your regular communication habits. This steadiness becomes something they come to rely on, are stable and comforting for us amidst the chaos of daily life. When you suddenly miss these interactions, your absence is immediately noticed, and strangely enough, it creates a void they yearn to fill. By keeping your communication consistent, you weave yourself into the fabric of their everyday life. When you're not there, they miss the warmth and security your messages bring. They anticipate hearing from you again, feeling the absence keenly when the expected message doesn't arrive. So, make consistency a hallmark of how you communicate, maintain it, nurture it, and observe how they begin to miss you in the small silences your absence creates. Remember, your goal is to remain present in their thoughts tomorrow, not as someone remembered sporadically, but as an essential and dependable presence in their life, even from afar. Let me illustrate this further. Consider 2 friends who exchange messages regularly. One sends sporadic texts, sometimes flooding the conversation with multiple messages in a day, then disappearing for weeks. The other maintains a predictable rhythm. A thoughtful message every morning, or a quick note to share something interesting they encountered during the day. Over time, the second friend becomes a trusted constant in the other's life. Their messages aren't overwhelming, but they're reliable, like the first rays of sunlight or the calming rhythm of waves. When those messages stop, even briefly, the recipient notices the gap immediately. This principle also applies to deeper forms of communication. For instance, if you consistently ask thoughtful questions about their day, their dreams, or their challenges, you signal that you care about their inner world. These moments of connection accumulate over time, building a reservoir of trust and emotional intimacy. As Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." By being consistent, you ensure that the feelings of care and reliability linger long after the conversation ends. Moreover, consistency doesn't mean monotony. You can vary the content of your messages while maintaining the rhythm. Share a funny story one day, a reflective thought the next, or a simple thinking of you message when you know they might need encouragement. This variety keeps the interaction fresh while reinforcing the underlying reliability of your presence. For example, imagine sending a short voice note saying, "Hey, I was just thinking about how much I enjoyed our last conversation. Hope you're having a great day." Such gestures remind them that you're not just consistent but also genuinely engaged. Ultimately, consistency in communication is about becoming a trusted anchor in their life. When you're consistent, you give them something to look forward to, a small but significant ritual that punctuates their day. And when you're absent, that ritual's absence speaks volumes. They'll find themselves glancing at their phone, wondering why your usual message hasn't arrived. In those quiet moments, they'll realize just how much your steady presence has become a cherished part of their routine. So, embrace consistency as a powerful tool in your relational arsenal. Be dependable without being overbearing, thoughtful without being intrusive, and watch as your steady rhythm of communication cements your place in their heart. After all, relationships thrive not on grand gestures alone, but on the quiet, unwavering constancy that makes someone feel valued, seen, and remembered even when miles apart. Principle 7. Living with purpose. How can leading a meaningful and purpose-driven life make someone remember you more? It's about becoming a person of passion, enthusiasm, and active engagement in pursuits that matter. When you live with purpose, you're not just sitting idly, waiting for someone to fill your time. Instead, you're enriching your own life, making it vibrant and fulfilling. Having a sense of purpose makes you more attractive and intriguing. It shows that you have goals and aspirations that extend beyond the relationship, that you're someone who actively contributes to the world around you. This makes you not only more interesting but also deeply admirable. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, "Our plans miscarry because they have no aim." When a man does not know what harbor he is making for, no wind is the right wind. Imagine this scenario in your conversations. You share stories about the projects you're working on, the volunteer work you're doing, or the creative endeavors you're pursuing. The other person sees the sparkle in your eyes whenever you talk about these passions. That enthusiasm is contagious and leaves a powerful impression. When you're not around, they begin to miss the energy and inspiration you bring into their life. They start thinking about the exciting updates you'll share during your next meeting and feel the void when those conversations temporarily pause. By living a purposeful life, you become someone who is constantly growing, evolving, and improving. This makes every interaction with you fresh, inspiring, and memorable. When you're absent, the other person misses the feeling of being part of your dynamic journey. For example, imagine someone who spends their weekends volunteering at a local shelter or dedicating time to mastering a new skill. When they speak about these activities, their excitement is palpable. They don't just talk about what they did, they convey why it matters to them and how it shapes their worldview. This depth of engagement captivates others. As Helen Keller once said, life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. By embracing your passions and living boldly, you invite others to see life through your lens, a lens filled with purpose and possibility. Moreover, living with purpose doesn't mean you need to change the world overnight. Sometimes it's the small, consistent actions that leave the biggest impact. Whether it's pursuing a hobby that brings you joy, mentoring someone in need, or simply striving to be better each day, these acts of intentionality resonate deeply. For instance, sharing how you overcame a challenge in your latest project or describing the satisfaction of helping someone in your community can inspire admiration and curiosity. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate authenticity and drive. Ultimately, by living a purpose-driven life, you become a beacon of light, someone who embodies vitality and meaning. You show them that you're not just alive but truly living. And when you live this way, you remain in their thoughts tomorrow, not just because they love you, but because they admire and yearn for the passion you exude toward life itself. So, embrace your passions wholeheartedly and let your purposeful existence shine brightly. Inspire others not only with your words but with the way you move through the world. After all, a life lived with purpose is one that leaves an indelible mark not only on those who witness it, but also on those who cherish the memory of your presence long after you've gone. Principle 8. Moderation in emotions. How can the honest and measured control of your emotions make someone remember you more? It's about creating a balanced dynamic where the way you express your feelings becomes thoughtful, genuine, and intentional, thereby enhancing the quality of your interactions. By practicing emotional moderation, you avoid overwhelming others with excessive reactions, whether overly positive or negative. This Stoic-inspired approach allows you to navigate situations in relationships with grace and maturity, making your emotional expressions meaningful and well considered. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the best revenge is not to be like the person who caused you harm. Applied here, this means responding to situations not impulsively, but with calmness and intentionality. Picture this: you handle disagreements with composure and express affection sincerely yet without being overbearing. This balanced approach creates space for anticipation and longing. The other person knows your emotions are authentic, not impulsive outbursts, and this fosters trust and curiosity. When you're not around, they'll miss the stability and depth you bring into their life. They'll wonder about your calm, focused thoughts and eagerly anticipate your measured emotional expressions. Moderation in emotions doesn't mean becoming cold or distant. Rather, it means taking control of your emotions instead of letting them control you. This steadiness is incredibly attractive and lays the foundation for respect and admiration in any relationship. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people arguing over a misunderstanding. One reacts impulsively, raising their voice and escalating the tension. The other takes a deep breath, listens carefully, and responds with calm clarity. Who leaves a lasting impression? The person who demonstrates restraint and thoughtfulness stands out as someone mature and reliable. Their ability to regulate emotions transforms conflict into an opportunity for deeper understanding. As Viktor Frankl once said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. That space is where emotional moderation thrives. Moreover, moderation in emotions enhances the beauty of your connection. When you express joy, it feels warm and sincere, not overwhelming. When you express concern, it feels grounded and supportive, not suffocating. For instance, instead of showering someone with constant declarations of love, you might say, "I've been thinking about how much you mean to me," in a quiet, heartfelt moment. Such expressions linger because they're deliberate and profound. By embodying emotional balance, you also create an atmosphere of peace rather than chaos. People gravitate toward those who exude calm confidence, especially in turbulent times. Consider a scenario where life gets stressful, work deadlines pile up, personal challenges arise, but you remain composed. Your steady presence becomes a source of comfort and reassurance for them. They'll reflect on how your demeanor helped anchor them during difficult moments, making your absence even more noticeable when you're gone. Ultimately, striving for the perfect balance in expressing emotions ensures that every interaction with you is meaningful and memorable. You become someone who enriches their life through thoughtful engagement rather than emotional turbulence. And when you're absent, they'll yearn for the equilibrium you provide, the kind that makes them feel safe, valued, and understood. So, aim to master the art of emotional moderation. By doing so, you elevate your interactions and ensure that you remain present in their thoughts tomorrow, not as a source of drama or unpredictability, but as a beacon of serenity and wisdom. Remember, in the dance of love, sometimes the quietest moments resonate the loudest, leaving behind echoes of calm that linger long after you've stepped away. Principle 9. Resilience in the face of adversity. How can demonstrating resilience make someone remember you more? It's about proving that you can navigate life's ups and downs with strength and grace, making you a reliable anchor and a source of comfort in their life. Resilience in adversity means that when challenges arise, you face them head-on without crumbling. This quality shows that you are dependable and strong, traits that are incredibly attractive in any relationship. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a person perfected without trials. This principle teaches that enduring hardships and growing through them not only makes you a better individual, but also an unforgettable partner. Imagine this scenario: you're going through a tough time but remain calm and methodically address the problem. This not only earns you respect but also admiration from the other person. They see that you're not just coping, you're overcoming adversity with strength. When you're not around, the memory of your resilience brings them a sense of trust and reassurance. They remember your strength and the feeling of safety they experience when they're with you. Resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about coming back stronger after every fall. It's the ability to find solutions, maintain optimism, and keep moving forward despite obstacles. This kind of mental and emotional fortitude is not only appealing but also deeply magnetic. The other person will be drawn to your unwavering spirit and inspired by your ability to rise above difficulties. Consider the subtle yet powerful impact of resilience in everyday situations. Perhaps you lose your job but quickly start applying for new opportunities with a positive attitude. Or maybe you face a family crisis and still manage to support those around you while keeping your emotions in check. These moments shape your character and leave a lasting impression on those around you. When the other person sees you confront adversity with grace, they begin to view you as a steadfast pillar. This not only builds their respect for you, but also deepens the emotional bond between you two. They start valuing your role in their life as someone they can rely on, someone who doesn't easily crumble under pressure. This trust and strength become a source of comfort and admiration, making them miss you even more when you're not there. Moreover, resilience in adversity also means maintaining a positive attitude. It's easy to be optimistic when everything is going well, but true resilience shines when you can find light even in the darkest days. This positivity radiates outward and can uplift the other person during their own difficult times. When you're absent, they don't just miss your presence, they miss the positivity and hope you bring into their life. By nurturing resilience, you don't just survive, you demonstrate that you can overcome any challenge and lead by example. This makes every reunion sweeter and more meaningful because they look forward to being with someone who inspires them to become more resilient themselves. They begin associating you with feelings of safety, stability, and hope, essential elements in any loving relationship. So, view challenges as opportunities to showcase your strength and stability. Prove that no matter what happens, you remain steadfast and dependable. And remember, by embodying resilience, you'll stay present in their thoughts tomorrow, not just as someone who brings love, but as someone who brings strength to their life. Your resilience becomes the foundation of your relationship, a quality that makes you irreplaceable and deeply missed when you're not there. Let me illustrate this further. Think of a couple facing a stormy period, perhaps financial struggles or health issues. One partner panics, letting stress take over, while the other remains calm, finding practical solutions and offering encouragement. Who do you think leaves a deeper mark? The resilient partner becomes a symbol of hope and perseverance, someone whose strength others want to emulate. As Helen Keller once said, although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. By embodying this truth, you inspire others to believe in their own capacity to overcome adversity. Ultimately, resilience transforms you into more than just a companion. It makes you a beacon of strength and stability. Whether it's navigating personal setbacks or supporting each other through shared challenges, your ability to endure and thrive creates a narrative of triumph that lingers long after the moment has passed. And when you're apart, they'll find themselves reflecting on your courage, drawing inspiration from your example, and yearning for the steadiness only you can provide. In relationships, resilience isn't just a trait, it's a gift. It reassures, uplifts, and strengthens the bond between two people. So, embrace adversity as a chance to grow and watch how your resilience becomes the cornerstone of their admiration and affection for you. After all, a love built on strength and perseverance is one that endures, and one that is never forgotten. Principle 10. Consistency in character. How can maintaining consistent character make someone remember you more? It's about becoming a reliable and predictable anchor in their life while still retaining enough mystery to sustain attraction. Consistency in character means you remain authentically yourself yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This stability builds deep trust and a profound sense of security in the relationship. As Epictetus wisely said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." This steadfast approach ensures that the other person always knows exactly who you are and what to expect from you. This brings comfort and a deep sense of assurance. Imagine this in a relationship. You consistently uphold your values, honor your commitments, and treat the other person with respect and kindness. This not only makes you a great partner but also someone they can always rely on and cherish. Your consistency means they know what to expect and can fully trust the relationship, making your presence essential and your absence deeply felt. However, consistency doesn't mean becoming overly predictable. It's important to occasionally sprinkle in small surprises to keep the relationship lively and exciting. It could be an unexpected date, an unanticipated gift, or simply a playful message to brighten their day. These moments of spontaneity, combined with your consistent character, make you both dependable and captivating. Consider this: being unwavering in your values and behavior creates a solid foundation. The other person knows that during uncertain times, they can count on you to remain loving and supportive, just as they've always known you to be. This reliability is rare and incredibly valuable. When you're not around, they'll miss the steady presence you bring to their life. Yet, by adding a touch of surprise, you prevent the relationship from becoming monotonous. It's like adding a spark to a steady flame. For instance, planning a spontaneous weekend getaway while sending a heartfelt handwritten letter for no reason other than "I wanted to" shows that while you're dependable, you're also capable of keeping things fresh and exciting. By maintaining this balance, you ensure that the other person eagerly anticipates both the stability you provide and the delightful surprises you create. They'll remember not only your consistency, but also the joy and excitement you bring into their life. So, make consistency in character your foundation, while occasionally sprinkling in surprises to keep things vibrant. This balance will ensure that you're remembered not just as a steadfast presence in their life, but also as someone who brings unexpected joys. And remember, by staying present in their thoughts tomorrow, you're building a relationship rooted in trust and enhanced by delightful unpredictability. The other person will appreciate the stability you offer and look forward to the wonderful surprises you might bring. This combination of reliability and joy makes you indispensable in their life, creating a powerful longing when you're absent. Let me expand on this further. Think of consistency as the bedrock of any meaningful connection. When someone knows they can count on you to act with integrity and care, it fosters a profound sense of safety. For example, if you always show up for important moments, whether it's celebrating their achievements or supporting them through setbacks, they begin to associate you with unwavering loyalty and love. As Maya Angelou famously said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Your consistent kindness and dependability leave an indelible mark. At the same time, the element of surprise keeps the relationship dynamic and engaging. Imagine surprising them with tickets to a concert of their favorite band, or cooking their favorite meal after a long day at work. These gestures remind them that while you're steadfast, you're also thoughtful and creative. It's this blend of reliability and spontaneity that makes your bond uniquely magnetic. Ultimately, consistency in character isn't about rigidity, it's about authenticity. It's about knowing who you are and staying true to that, while still leaving room for growth and exploration within the relationship. By balancing dependability with occasional surprises, you become someone they can trust completely, yet never take for granted. They'll find themselves reflecting on your steadiness when you're gone and eagerly anticipating the next unexpected moment you'll bring into their life. So, embrace the power of consistency while embracing the art of surprise. Be the person who provides a safe harbor in life's storms, yet also the one who lights up their days with unexpected delights. In doing so, you'll ensure that you're not only remembered but cherished, a constant source of comfort and joy that they can't help but yearn for when you're apart. After all, relationships thrive not just on stability or excitement alone, but on the harmonious interplay of both.
All right, so get this. Today we're going to deep dive into something a little different. We're going to look at how to make someone miss you, but using Stoicism.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard that right. That ancient philosophy, like, logic and restraint, Stoicism.
It is really interesting. This source that we're looking at takes these, these old ideas and applies them to, relationships, like today.
It really threw me for a loop, but it's not like, some cheesy pickup artist thing. This is about self-improvement. It's about becoming so, interesting and captivating that people really, truly feel it when you're not around. And get this, they even bring up Cleopatra as an example.
Yeah, Cleopatra, she's like the perfect example, like the legendary allure.
Yeah.
Right? She didn't need to be around people all the time to be fascinating.
Yeah.
In fact, it was kind of the opposite. Like the less she was around, the more interesting she seemed.
Okay, so let's break this down. Let's start with the foundation here. Self-mastery. The source is saying that being self-reliant, really being able to depend on yourself, makes you more desirable. But, isn't needing someone part of what makes, someone want to be with you?
Well, yeah, I guess, but that's where the Stoicism comes in, right? Think about it this way. Real strength comes from inside a person. So you're not trying to get other people to tell you that you're okay.
Yeah.
You just are, and you just kind of radiate that feeling.
Okay.
So if someone's really into something, say they restore old motorcycles, or they're really good at calligraphy. That kind of spirit, that kind of independent spirit, that's what's magnetic. That's what draws people in.
So it's not you need someone to be complete. It's more hey, I'm awesome, but you're welcome to come along, right?
Exactly. It's not like you're playing games or anything. It's just you really are that kind of person, that people would miss. Someone who's got a lot going on inside, they're just naturally, more interesting.
Okay, that makes sense. But then there's this whole thing about mastering your emotions, right? Isn't showing your feelings part of how we connect with people? How does that fit in with being stoic?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think this is where things get really, really interesting.
Okay.
The source isn't saying we should all just be robots,
right,
with no feelings, no emotions. That's not it. It's about the Stoic idea of control. Imagine your emotions are a really powerful horse.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You don't want to just let it run wild, but you can learn to guide it. Steer its energy.
So you're not pushing down your feelings. You're just choosing how you respond. So when your flight gets delayed, you don't you don't lose it. You use those Stoic breathing exercises to stay chill.
Yes, that's it exactly, and it really connects with that famous quote by Viktor Frankl. He said, "Between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." That's really what, that's what the Stoics believed. That space is where we really master ourselves.
So by mastering those emotions, we end up being more appealing because we're not all over the place.
Right. Think about some of the most, captivating people you've ever met.
Yeah.
They're probably pretty calm. They have this way about them that makes you feel safe and secure, right? Because they're in control. They're not letting every little thing, throw them off.
That's a really good point. Okay, I'm starting to get how this all comes together. Okay, so we've got self-mastery and emotional control. What's next in our what's the next Stoic secret weapon?
Intentional communication. It builds on that emotional mastery.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just what you're saying; it's how you say it.
Right.
Seneca, he was a Stoic philosopher. He put it really well: "Speak so that you may speak again."
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So it's about making your words count.
Okay.
It's about leaving them wanting more.
Okay, so instead of just like, generic compliments or just blah blah blah, you're really choosing your words to resonate.
Yes. Imagine you tell someone your eyes like lit up when you laugh. That was captivating. Instead of just, you look nice.
Okay, yeah. It's about being present, being, genuinely engaged in the conversation so that every interaction feels, meaningful. Okay, I'm definitely taking notes here, but this next one is, I don't even know, embracing absence.
Yeah.
Are they saying we should just disappear to make someone miss us?
No, not exactly. It's a little more nuanced than that. The Stoics believed in, accepting the things that we can't change.
Okay.
And that includes, how relationships have these natural times and flows.
Yeah.
Sometimes giving each other a little space can actually make the bond, even stronger.
So it's that whole absence makes the heart grow fonder kind of thing?
Yeah.
But in a deliberate Stoic way.
Exactly. Think of it as a chance to, recharge, to go after your own interests, the things you're, passionate about.
Yeah.
The source mentions couples who take separate trips on the weekends.
Oh, wow.
Not because they have to, but because they want to experience something new.
Yeah.
They want to grow individually, so when they come back together, they have all these, new things to talk about and share.
I like that. It's like taking a break from a really good meal so you can really appreciate every bite when you, come back to it.
I like that. It's about realizing that a good relationship has, a rhythm. There are moments of closeness, and then there are moments of space.
Yeah.
And that space, when you use it deliberately, well, it can make those moments of connection even, more powerful.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So we've got mastering ourselves, mastering our emotions, and even mastering our communication. What's next in this whole Stoic guide to being missed?
It's the power of mindful interaction. So imagine you make every interaction so engaging, you're so present that people really feel it when you're not there.
So that's where all the Stoic mindfulness practice comes in, right? Like really listening to someone or making eye contact or putting your phone away.
Exactly. It's all about making the other person feel, seen and heard. Like they're the only person in the room. That's how you make, even ordinary moments feel really special and memorable.
That reminds me of Thich Nhat Hanh. He said, the most precious gift we can offer others is our presence. And when someone gives you their full attention, it really makes you feel, like you matter.
Exactly. And so it makes sense that when that kind of presence is, gone, that you would notice it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the difference between, a quick text message and a letter that someone took the time to, write by hand.
Right.
One is easy to forget. The other one really sticks with you.
You know what? I'm starting to see a pattern here, right? Each of these principles builds on the one before it. It's like you're creating this this aura,
Yes,
this
I
magnetism.
you're getting it. And it's not about, tricking anyone. It's about being a better person.
Yeah.
Genuine self-improvement. And that's what makes it so powerful, because it's coming from a real place.
So it's not how can I make someone miss me? It's more like how can I be the kind of person that people just naturally miss?
You nailed it. And that brings us to another really key principle: consistency in communication.
Wait a minute. I thought we were all about embracing absence. How does being consistent with, how does communication fit into that?
Oh, it's not about bombarding them with messages or anything like that.
Okay.
It's about, finding a rhythm of connection that feels good and is, meaningful. Think of like a comforting beat in someone's day.
Okay.
Maybe it's a good morning text or an email every week, or even just a phone call on Sunday nights.
Okay.
It's not about it's not about how much you communicate. It's about making each time you do connect really count.
So quality over quantity. It's like making those points of connection feel genuine and not just, filling up the airwaves.
That's it. And the Stoics believed that being consistent in how you act and what you do, that was a virtue. Seneca said, consistency is the hallmark of wisdom in communication. So it's not about being predictable. It's about being dependable. When you're there for someone, even in small ways, then your absence is more noticeable when you're not there.
Okay, that makes sense. It kind of ties back into being trustworthy, being someone people can depend on.
Yeah.
But what about making ourselves like truly interesting?
That's where living with purpose comes in.
Okay, I like this one. This is about going after our passions, right? Making ourselves so interesting that people can't help but be drawn to us.
Exactly. The Stoics believed that living a life of virtue, one that was guided by purpose and reason, that was the ultimate goal. And that pursuit, that going after something meaningful, that's what makes you magnetic. Imagine someone who spends their weekends volunteering at, an animal shelter or building furniture. Even when they're not around, their passion makes them more interesting. The Source even quotes Helen Keller, life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. And when you embrace that, your absence becomes noticeable because people miss that energy, that zest for life.
I like that. It's like the energy that you bring to your passions is a gift that you share with other people, even when you're not physically there.
Exactly. And speaking of gifts, the next principle is all about something that can really enhance a relationship: moderation and emotion.
Wait, hold on. Didn't we already talk about emotions?
Yeah, we did. But this is about it's a subtle but powerful shift in how you think about them. It's not about, it's not about having no emotions. It's about expressing your feelings in a way that's thoughtful.
Right.
Measured. The Stoics thought that, that wisdom really came from finding a balance, avoiding extremes.
So it's not about pretending like everything's okay when it's not. It's about choosing how we express ourselves, right?
And that's it. So instead of just exploding with anger, you communicate your frustration calmly and constructively.
So it's like taking that space that Viktor Frankl talked about,
right?
That pause between something happening and you reacting.
Exactly.
And then you're choosing how you want to, how you want to respond. Think about someone who can handle, disagreements or arguments with grace and composure. That kind of self-control. It's attractive.
It is. It makes you seem, more reliable. Like you're not going to just fly off the handle at the slightest thing.
Yeah.
It shows maturity. That you're self-aware, and it makes those times when you are expressing joy or excitement, it makes those moments even more powerful because they're not, drowned out by all this other emotional noise.
Okay, so I'm seeing how all this is fitting together. It's not about tricking people into into having certain feelings. It's about building this this whole captivating persona.
Exactly. And speaking of strength of character, the next principle is about resilience.
Yeah. The classic image of the Stoic, unflinching in the face of hardship. But how does that make someone miss you?
The Stoics thought that, how we deal with challenges, that's where our virtue really shows. Think about someone who, maybe they lose their job. And instead of getting all, defeated, they immediately start thinking about new opportunities, or maybe they're dealing with a personal setback, but they face it with, courage and grace.
Yeah.
That kind of strength, it's attractive.
Yeah. It's like, okay, life threw me a curveball, but I'm gonna get back up.
Yeah, that's it.
That kind of resilience is, it's definitely inspiring.
It is. And their absence is felt because people miss that strength. They miss that feeling of stability. Like they know they can count on that person to weather any storm.
So it's not just about bouncing back. It's about how that bouncing back shapes your character, right?
You got it. And that leads us to the final principle: consistency in character.
Wait. I thought we already talked about consistency in communication.
We did, but this is a little deeper. It's about living your life in a way that's, aligned with what you believe in, being the same person today that you were yesterday and that you'll be tomorrow.
So it's about being genuine and true to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And that consistency, that creates trust. It creates security in any relationship because people know what to expect from you. They know you're not going to, suddenly change who you are.
And that makes your absence felt because there's this, there's this void where that reliable presence used to be.
That's it. And the source adds a really an interesting point here. It's important to balance that consistency with a few surprises now and then.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
So you're dependable, but you're not predictable. Like surprising your partner with a weekend trip or your friend with tickets to their favorite band.
Exactly. Those little things show that you're paying attention, that you care, and they add a little bit of excitement into that consistent, reliable character that we've been building. We've covered a lot in just this this first part.
I know, it's incredible how these simple principles, these ideas, can really have a big impact on our relationships.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true, and I think it's probably a good time to pause here, let all this information sink in.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then in the next part, we'll dive a little deeper into how we can actually apply all these Stoic secrets to our own lives.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're back and we're ready to get practical. We've talked about all these Stoic secrets, but how do we actually use them? How do we use them to become the kind of person that people really miss?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? It's like, we've got this toolbox full of all this Stoic wisdom, but now we got to figure out, how to actually use the tools.
So let's say someone's really struggling with that first principle, the self-mastery thing. What's like a real step they can take, like beyond just find a hobby?
Well, I would ask them, what makes you come alive? It could be anything like, I don't know, restoring old cars or volunteering at an animal shelter or even learning about, astrophysics. The point is to find something you're actually passionate about, not something you think you should be doing.
So ditch the guilt trip hobbies. Find something that, really brings you joy. I like that. But what about those of us who, we struggle with our emotions? Like our emotions are all over the place. How do we apply that whole mastering your emotions thing in real life?
This is where those Stoic practices like negative visualization can really come in handy. And it's not about being all, doom and gloom.
Right.
It's about being prepared mentally for when things go wrong. Like imagine you get a flat tire on your way to work. Instead of just, freaking out, you can use that moment to practice acceptance. You thought about this possibility and you have a plan.
So it's like having this mental toolbox, right? If we're dealing with all of life's little curveballs, that's way more helpful than just telling myself to, calm down. But let's get really specific here. How can we use intentional communication to be more memorable?
Okay, think about it this way. You can turn everyday conversations into, these really meaningful moments. So instead of saying, you look nice, try saying something like, that color really makes your eyes sparkle. You just radiate energy today.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's specific, it's genuine, and it's not just some, surface level comment.
Right. But what about that embracing absence thing? That still feels kind of counterintuitive, right? Like, are we supposed to just ghost people?
No. It's about creating space, on purpose. Like those couples who plan those separate weekend adventures. Imagine you and your partner each going on, I don't know, a solo camping trip. You come back with all these new stories, fresh perspectives. You appreciate each other even more.
That's so much better than just sitting at home and scrolling through social media.
Right.
But what about mindful interaction?
Yeah.
That just seems so big. Like, where do we even start?
Start small. Like next time you're having coffee with a friend, resist that urge to check your phone.
Okay.
Really listen to what they're saying. Ask questions. Make eye contact. Those little things, they create a feeling of being present. You know? And people really appreciate that.
It's like saying, you're important to me right here, right now. You have my full attention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that feeling of really being seen and heard, it's powerful. Now let's talk about consistency in communication.
Yeah.
It's easy to think that we have to be in touch all the time, but the Stoics, they had a different perspective.
Right. It's not about blowing up someone's phone with text. It's about finding that rhythm of connection that we were talking about. But how do you how do you actually do that?
Think about quality over quantity. So maybe it's sending a handwritten note once a month,
Yeah.
or setting a reminder to call your grandparents every Sunday. The point is to create a pattern that feels good, that feels nurturing, not overwhelming.
So it's like weaving yourself into someone's life in a way that feels supportive and consistent.
Exactly.
But what about making ourselves more interesting on on the inside? Where does that whole living with purpose thing, where does that fit in?
This is all about being the kind of person, that you'd want to be around. Imagine someone who, spends their free time building model rockets or learning to play, the cello. That passion, it's contagious.
Yeah.
Even when they're not around, you find yourself thinking about their projects, wondering how they're doing.
It's like they leave a little bit of that passion wherever they go, and then people miss that energy when they're not around.
Exactly. It's about filling your life with, with things that have meaning and purpose, so you just naturally become more captivating. But remember, it's not about trying to be interesting. It's about really going after those things that light you up.
Okay, so we're mastering ourselves. We've got our passions all fired up, but emotions can still be kind of tricky. How do we practice? How do we practice moderation in our everyday lives?
The Stoics believed that virtue was all about finding that balance, between going too far in one direction or the other. So it's not about pushing your feelings down. It's about choosing how you want to express them. Like imagine you're feeling, frustrated with a coworker. Instead of just snapping at them, you take a breath, collect your thoughts, and then you address the situation in a way that's calm and assertive.
Yeah, that's much better than sending that angry email.
Right. Moderation isn't about being passive. It's about choosing a response that that fits with your values and that creates a positive effect.
Okay.
Now let's talk about resilience.
Okay.
Life's going to throw curveballs at us. That's just that's how it goes. So how do we build that stoic resilience?
I'm guessing it's more than just gritting our teeth and bearing it.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's about facing challenges with courage and a willingness to learn from those experiences. Like imagine someone who loses someone they love.
Mm-hmm.
They let themselves grieve, but they also find comfort in their in their memories, and they choose to honor that person by living a meaningful life.
Yeah.
That's true resilience.
It's about finding meaning and growth, even when things are, even when you're going through tough times. That's powerful. But how do we tie that into, being missed?
When you show that kind of resilience, you become like a source of strength.
Mm-hmm.
You inspire other people. People are drawn to that. They miss it when it's not there because they know they can count on you to, get through anything.
So it's not just about, bouncing back yourself. It's about how you inspire others to do the same. That's a really beautiful way to think about it.
And finally, we come back around to, consistency and character. The Stoics believed that real strength came from living your life in a way that matched what you believe in, day after day.
So it's about, walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly. And remember what the source said. It's important to balance that consistency with, a little surprise every now and then.
Uh-huh.
So imagine, you're known for being dependable, but you also surprise your friends with, thoughtful gifts or spontaneous adventures.
That's a great mix of dependability and excitement. So we've talked about a lot here. What's the one big thing you want listeners to take away from all of this?
It's not about tricking people into missing you. It's about being the kind of person that whose absence is naturally felt.
Yes.
Because you're a source of genuine strength and purpose and connection.
I love that. It's like that saying, be the person you needed when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, it's be the person you'd miss if you weren't around.
Exactly. It's about living out those qualities that we admire in others.
Right.
So that just being around you, it's like a gift. And when you're not there, it's a reminder of how valuable that gift really is.
Now, before we wrap up this part, I want to hear from you, our listeners. Which of these principles speaks to you the most?
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments. And don't forget to join us for the last part of this deep dive, where we'll take some time to think about all these Stoic secrets and how they can really make our lives and relationships, richer and more fulfilling.
Welcome back to our deep dive into those Stoic secrets for making someone miss you. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling kind of magnetic just thinking about all this.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, how these old ideas, they can still feel so relevant today. It's like the Stoics, they had this wisdom, about what it means to be human that just kind of goes beyond time.
Totally. And what really strikes me is that it's not about, playing games. We're not trying to manipulate people. We're really trying to become the best versions of ourselves. We're not trying to make someone miss us. We're just, cultivating a presence that they naturally miss because it makes their lives better.
You said it perfectly. It's like we're building a fire, not just striking a match. It's a sustainable flame that that draws people in and that keeps them warm even after we've left the room.
I love that. It's about warmth and strength and purpose, not just a quick flash. But okay, before we get too lost in all the metaphors and stuff, I'm curious. Out of all these principles, what's sticking with you?
For me, it's how it all fits together. These principles, they're not just they're not just random ideas. They build on each other, and it creates this virtuous cycle. So you start with self-mastery, and then that gives you the power to manage your emotions.
Right.
And when you're, emotionally stable, then you can communicate more intentionally. You can be more present when you're, interacting with people. And yeah, you can even embrace that, that absence without being afraid.
It's like a chain reaction of, self-improvement. And each step, it makes the next one easier and more natural. But what surprised me the most? This isn't just about romantic relationships.
You're right. The source makes it clear that these principles, they can apply to, to any relationship, friendships, family, even your work relationships. Imagine applying that mindful interaction in a business meeting or living with purpose in your volunteer work.
That's true. It just opens up all these, possibilities. I'm not just trying to make a partner miss us. We're trying to become the kind of person that everyone, enjoys being around. Someone whose absence, it leaves a good kind of emptiness.
Yeah, and I think that's a really nice thing to want. It's not about being needy or needing other people to make us feel good. It's realizing that just by being ourselves, we can have a positive effect on the people around us. So we can try to make that as powerful as we can.
It reminds me of that Maya Angelou quote. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And if we really live by these Stoic principles, I bet we can make people feel respected and valued and maybe even a little inspired.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And speaking of, inspiration, the source ends with this powerful quote from Marcus Aurelius. He was a Stoic emperor and a philosopher. The measure of life is not its length, but how you live it.
Wow. Those are, those are words to live by. But what does that mean for us, thinking about everything we've talked about in this deep dive?
I think it's a call to action. It's like a challenge to take these principles and use them to create a life that people will, life they'll remember. So the question is, how are you going to use these Stoic secrets? How are you going to make your life and just your presence more meaningful, more impactful, more more missable?
That's a great question to think about. What kind of fire are you going to build? What kind of mark are you going to leave on the world? We want to hear from you. Share your thoughts down in the comments.
And remember, this isn't, it's not like you reach the end. This is it's a journey. Stoicism is something you practice. It's this lifelong search for wisdom and virtue. So keep exploring. Keep trying things out and keep trying to be the best version of yourself. The kind of person who, when they're not around, people feel it, not because they need something from you, but because they genuinely appreciate all the, the unique things you bring to the world.
That's a great way to put it. And on that note, I think we'll wrap up this this deep dive. Until next time, keep searching for knowledge, keep embracing wisdom, and keep living a life that's truly worth remembering.
And there you have it. We've explored 10 Stoic secrets to becoming unforgettable, even in your absence. From cultivating self-control and emotional mastery to living a purposeful life and maintaining consistent character, each principle offers profound value to help you build meaningful and lasting relationships. Philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The measure of life is not its length, but how you live it." So, apply these principles to make every moment of your life memorable. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and join our community at Strong Stoic Habits for more valuable insights. Share your thoughts by leaving a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us on Stoic Reflection. See you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring amazing philosophies to enrich your life. Stay strong, resilient, and shine with the distinctive grace of Stoicism.